this tutorial, which digs deeper into the Face Morph template in Lens Studio. This template has been around for a while, but I never understood the ins and outs of it until very recently. Hopefully, by taking a look at what's happening inside, it can help you build more fun and expressive lens experiences. Let's take a look. The Face Morph template allows you to drive a 3D mesh head with the user's own expressions. While you can do something similar with the expression controller script and blend shapes, this one allows for much more realistic face movements. It also saves you from having to create dozens of blend shapes for each movement for each part of the face. Let's find out how it works. The Face Morph template uses Lens Studio's Face Mesh object, which deforms based on a 3D mesh's UV map. This means that the real key to using this template is not found in Lens Studio. It starts with how you set up your geometry in the 3D software of your choice. In my case, I'll be using Maya. Let's begin with a 3D object head model. You can use the downloadable model provided by Lens Studio or create your own. If you're using the Lens Studio head, you can simply deform it with sculpting tools, leaving the UV map unchanged. If you're starting with your own model, I recommend spending a few moments to consider how you want those face parts to be driven by the user. Then we can continue from your completed 3D head that has been textured already. Don't worry about your current set of UVs and textures. We won't be altering them. Now here's the secret to the setup. With your model ready in your 3D software, go into the UV Layout, UV Set Editor, and create a second UV set. We'll be referring to this as Face Morph UV Set or Set 2. This will be the set that Lens Studio uses to drive your model's expressions. Note that this example is for an entire 3D head, but you can also make one just for the face. Check the video notes for links. Let's continue. Using the Face Mesh UV reference, make sure your model's UVs are positioned over the proper facial landmarks. For example, make sure the UVs for your character's eyes are positioned over the template UV's eyes in the exact position. Once positioned correctly, every blink, nostril flare, or mouth shape that the Snapchatter makes will be reflected on your own model. With this complete, export your head mesh as an FBX, and then import it into the Face Morph template in Lens Studio with the default import settings. We're going to be using the character example, so in the Objects panel hierarchy, you can hide or delete the other examples in the template. Also, we don't want the additional head attachments for this project, so disable or delete those as well. Now, under the head binding object, select the face mesh. In the Inspector panel, under Render Mesh Visual, you can see the face mesh, character example. Right-click on it and choose Select. You'll now see the options for the face mesh, character example. It will be selected in the Resources panel as well. The face mesh is a unique asset that is specifically designed to be driven by the Snapchatter's face in 3D. In the Inspector panel, under Render Mesh, make sure Skull is selected, then click on the External Mesh box. Now find your own imported head mesh and select that. Already, you'll see your own mesh is now being driven by the face expressions of the user. To get your texture working as well, go to the Objects panel, click the face mesh object again, then in the Inspector panel, right-click and select the body_MTL material. Change the base texture to your own imported texture file. And that's it. You have a 3D head that's controlled by the Snapchatter's face expressions. Play around with the tween values to adjust the transition times or disable this script and the transition controller if you just want the 3D head to be on all the time. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know what you think in the comments or share your own creations. I'd love to see them. Also, let me know what you'd like to see for my next tutorial. Thanks.